Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. My name is Rachel Torres. I'm the Assistant Secretary of the Division of Unemployment Insurance. Thank you for joining us today. We understand it's an extremely challenging and confusing time for many of you. While some of you may be facing a job loss, others may be in a unique and complicated situation, such as being placed on administrative leave or being reinstated to your position. No matter how complex your situation, we want to do as much as we can to help you understand the unemployment insurance process. Additionally, we want to offer support to you while you search for new employment. During this webinar, we will provide information that is specific to federal employees, which you may use to file for unemployment benefit. We will also provide some information for private sector federal contractors, but not much. This is really geared toward federal employees. Today's webinar will last about 45 minutes and will be hosted by Emily Wise and other Maryland Unemployment Insurance staff. At the end of the presentation, we will hold a question and answer session to address some of your concerns. Emily will provide detail about how to submit your questions during the presentation. We also have several resources for federal employees on our website at mdunemployment.com. Please share this information with anyone you feel could benefit from it. If you have any questions after today's webinar, do not hesitate to reach out to us at 667-207-6520. Again, thank you for joining us. I hope you find this information helpful. I will now turn it over to Emily.
Rachel. Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. As Rachel said, we are in a set of unprecedented times, and the Maryland Department of Labor, Division of Unemployment Insurance, would like to help alleviate or reduce confusion related to the unemployment process. We understand how chaotic and confusing your current employment situation may be right now. Many of you are experiencing the yo-yo effects of being separated from your federal employer, being placed on administrative leave, reinstated with back pay, and then once again separated from your employment. Navigating all of this is chaotic, confusing, and frustrating, I'm sure. During this webinar, we will try to give you some federal specific information to take with you while planning for your unemployment claims process. Later in the presentation, we will also discuss the new Federal Worker Emergency Loan Program. This program offers interest-free loans for former federal employees who live in Maryland. While we're presenting, if you have any questions of a general nature, please type them into the Q&A section of the webinar. You'll find that by pressing the Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom screen, which looks like a square with the letters Q and A inside of it. After presenting all of the information, we will respond to some of these questions out loud. However, if you have already filed for unemployment and have any questions related to your individual claim, there will be a Google form linked in the chat. It just popped up. Please fill that out if you have any questions that relate to your claims specifically or your individual situation. While we go along with this presentation, any link referenced during this webinar will be posted in the chat. Feel free to open those links and bookmark them so you can catch up with any information you may miss during the webinar. If you're using Google Chrome, an easy way to bookmark is to click the star at the end of the URL bar and then follow the prompts. Later in the presentation, we will also have a QR code that links to the form that we mentioned earlier. To read the QR code, you can use Google View for Android phones, your built-in iPhone camera, or a third-party QR reading app. Talk about unemployment compensation for federal employees. Also known as UCFE, this is the unemployment insurance program for federal civilian employees who have separated from federal service within the last 18 months. This program provides temporary financial assistance to help eligible individuals like many of you as you search for new employment opportunities. What does applying for unemployment look like? We're going to take a moment for an overview of the unemployment process. Step 1 is finding out if you might qualify for unemployment. Every situation is unique, but there are key qualifications that we will go over today. Step 2 is gathering information you may need. You should collect your personal information and last 18 months of employment history. We'll go over these later in the slides, especially what specifically you should gather as a federal employee. Step 3 is filing a claim online or by phone. When it's time to file, if you are filing in Maryland, you will file using Maryland's unemployment insurance system called Beacon. Step 4 is documenting your weekly job search. You'll register with the Maryland Workforce Exchange to document your weekly job search and meet all minimum criteria for weekly benefits. And finally, and one of the most important steps is step 5, completing your weekly certification. You will be asked to answer questions online or over the phone to complete your certification each week in order to receive benefits. As you will see linked shortly in the chat, steps 3 and 5 use our Beacon site, and step 4 uses the Maryland Workforce Exchange. That being said, we encourage you to file your claim and your weekly certifications online for efficiency. Let's dive a bit deeper into this process. Let's discuss who qualifies for UCFE benefits. Former federal employees like you may be eligible for UCFE benefits if you became unemployed through no fault of your own, have earned sufficient wages during 12 of the last 18 months of employment, and are able, available, and actively seeking work. Certain payments such as vacation pay, holiday pay, severance, special payments, or pension income may reduce or delay unemployment benefits. What about federal contractors? Are federal contractors eligible for UCFE benefits? Federal contractors, or individuals who worked for a private sector employer under a federal contract, are not eligible for UCFE. However, federal contractors may qualify for Maryland's regular unemployment insurance program. Information on filing for regular unemployment benefits can be found at mdunemployment.com in the regular UI overview flyer or in the new information for new claimants webpage. By the way, the term claimant that we'll use a few times throughout this presentation refers to any person who is filing a claim for unemployment benefits. Now we'll talk about where and when to apply for UCFE. You should apply for UCFE in the state or district where your federal duty station was located. Your duty station is listed on your SF-50 form. However, if your duty station was outside of the United States, or if you separated from federal service and then worked in non-federal employment in your U.S. state or district, you must apply in the state where you reside. It is important to wait until you have officially separated from employment before applying, as submitting a claim while still employed full-time may affect your eligibility. Please note that you will not be eligible for UI benefits if you are physically located outside of the U.S. Before we dive into the nuance of UCFE claims, let's chat about when to apply for benefits. You should not apply for unemployment insurance benefits until you have officially separated from employment, since this, again, will affect your eligibility. Things like admin pay, severance, and deferred resignation programs may affect the date you should apply for UI benefits. We'll go over those in more detail later on. Before we continue, I want to give you some special guidance for reductions in force. The Maryland Division of Unemployment Insurance recently created a resource called Steps to Prepare for Reduction in Force for current federal civilian employees. This document can be found on our website and linked in the chat. This document includes steps that employees like you can take now, such as saving employment documentation, to assist in the event that you need to apply for unemployment insurance benefits in the future. An important note, when filing your claim in Beacon, if you were affected by a RIF or layoff due to no fault of your own, please indicate your separation type as lack of work /layoff more than 10 weeks /reduction in force. Please feel free to share this information with your federal colleagues. Now we're going to go over some special guidance for reinstatement of employment. Many of you have been let go and then reinstated and/or placed on administrative leave. If you're still connected to the job through day-to-day work or administrative leave, you are not considered unemployed yet. Please do not file a claim or weekly certification if you have been reinstated to your position or if you have been placed on administrative leave. If you have received or will receive retroactive pay from the time you were unemployed, please report this to Maryland Unemployment by phone at our phone number 667-207-6520, which is also visible at the bottom of most slides in this presentation. If you received unemployment benefits during your weeks of unemployment and later received retroactive pay, the benefits you received will be classified as overpayments, which you will need to repay to Maryland Unemployment. You will receive an overpayment notice detailing the weeks you were paid these benefits. Please follow the instructions provided in that notice to repay the overpaid benefits. A special note, certain payments are deductible from unemployment benefits, like vacation pay, holiday pay, special pay, severance pay, retirement and pension payments, or back pay and damages. If you received any of these payments, your UI benefits may be reduced, delayed, or denied. If you have not yet received a decision regarding your unemployment benefits and you have been reinstated to your federal position, please pause on filing a weekly certification. Instead, call Maryland Unemployment to inform us that you are no longer unemployed. We will guide you on how to proceed with your claim. If you become unemployed by a federal employer again, call us to reopen your claim and begin filing your weekly certifications. And just a reminder, if you have any questions of a general nature, please put them in this webinar's Q&A. And if you have any specific questions to your situation or your claim, fill out the Google form linked in the chat. Preparation is key, as we all know. So if you choose to apply for unemployment benefits, we recommend gathering the following information and documents: personal details, including your Social Security number, your alien registration number if you are not a U.S. citizen, information about any dependents, and your employment history and W-2s for the last 18 months. Additionally, if you are a former military service member, have your DD-214 Member 4 form ready. If you're a former federal civilian employee, you'll need your SF-8 and SF-50 form. And finally, if you have a RIF letter, severance letter, termination notice, or anything related, gather those as well. We encourage you to upload any relevant supporting documents in the Beacon system. Please note, we understand that these documents are not always available to everyone depending on your individual circumstances. The agency will work with you on your claim as long as you provide us as much information as possible regarding your separation from employment. We also understand that not all HR departments are able to provide the information you are looking for. We will work with you still. Okay, now that you've prepared everything you need, let's talk about filing an initial claim. In Maryland, you can file an initial UCFE claim online through the Beacon UI system at beacon.labor.maryland.gov or by calling 667-207-6520 anytime between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. In our UI system, you will see the question, are you a federal employee filing for unemployment insurance? If you are a former federal employee, select yes for that question. If you are a federal contractor, you should instead select yes to the appropriate contractor question. Federal contractors should not indicate that they are federal employees. For additional information about Beacon and the claims process, visit the Beacon System Overview webpage at mdunemployment.com and also linked in this chat. Now let's talk about what happens after you either get approved or denied for benefits. This is called the benefit determination. After you file a claim, you will receive a benefit determination in Beacon and through your chosen method of communication, which you select when you file a claim. Your determination will include whether you are eligible for UI benefits, the UI program you qualify for if applicable, and your weekly benefit amount, or WBA. A note, please keep in mind that the maximum WBA, or again, weekly benefit amount in Maryland, is $430. Federal employees, you may receive a second determination with an updated weekly benefit amount once your federal wages are confirmed by your employer. If you disagree with the determination, you may file an appeal. Instructions on filing an appeal are included on your benefit determination. For more information, see the UI Appeals webpage that you can find a link to in the chat. Let's talk about completing the ES 935 affidavit now that you will have that will affect many of you. You will receive an ES 935 affidavit of federal civilian service to complete with proof of income and proof of your federal agency. The affidavit will be available in Beacon and sent through your chosen method of communication. W-2s, leave and earning statements, and the SF-50 are acceptable as proof of income, and the SF-50 and/or SF-8 are acceptable as proof of agency. Your affidavit will be available in the correspondence section of Beacon. To access it, select Correspondence from the menu on the left side of the screen, then select Search to view your correspondence. To upload the completed affidavit in Beacon, select the link to open your action items, then select the ES 935 documentation action item and follow the prompts. After you apply, you must meet ongoing eligibility requirements to receive benefit payments. These include being able and available for work without undue restrictions, meeting work search requirements, filing weekly claim certifications on time, and accepting suitable work when offered. Remember, filing your weekly certifications is how you request benefit payments, even if you have not received a final decision on your claim. Also, you must respond to any communications from the Maryland Division of Unemployment Insurance or Maryland Division of Workforce Development and Adult Learning. Some claimants may be selected for a mandatory reemployment services and eligibility assessment workshop or reemployment opportunity workshop. You might hear these workshops called RECE or ROW. They're designed to help you find new employment. Here is a little bit more information on meeting UI eligibility requirements. Each week, you must report earnings, including wages, tips, commissions, and new pension payments that were not previously reported. However, Social Security income should not be reported. If you receive severance, vacation, holiday, back pay, or other special payments after filing your claim, please call us promptly to report those payments. For more, you can visit the Information for New Claimants webpage at marylandunemployment.com or linked in the chat here. If you get approved for benefits, you will need to file weekly claim certifications. Let's go over that now. To receive benefits, you must file a weekly claim certification, which includes answering questions to confirm your ongoing eligibility. You should do this even if you have not yet received a final decision on your claim. Filing a claim certification is your request to be paid unemployment benefits for a given week. You can file through the Beacon system, the Interactive Voice Response or IVR phone system by calling 410-949-0022 or 800-827-4839, or through the Maryland Unemployment for Claimants mobile app. The app is available for download on the iOS App Store and the Google Play Store. Weekly claims must be filed between Sunday at 12:01 a.m. and Saturday at 11:59 p.m. For example, if you file a claim certification this upcoming Wednesday, you are requesting payment for last week, Sunday through Saturday. Again, if you're filing a claim certification this Wednesday, you are requesting the payment for the last week's Sunday through Saturday. More information can be found in the Claims Filing Weekly Claim Certifications FAQs at mdunemployment.com and linked in the chat. Now we'll talk about how to complete Maryland's work search requirements. Maryland requires that all claimants complete work search activities to remain eligible for benefits. This includes registering in the Maryland Workforce Exchange, or MWE, uploading or creating a resume in MWE, and making your resume visible to employers. Claimants must complete at least 3 valid reemployment activities each week, including at least 1 job contact, and maintain a weekly record of completed contacts and activities. It is strongly recommended that this record be kept in your job contact and reemployment activity log in the Maryland Workforce Exchange. Make sure to consistently check the MWE inbox for information about required weekly tasks. For details, visit the Maryland Work Search Requirements webpage, as well as the other helpful links from this slide at mdunemployment.com and linked in our chat here. Sure, this process can go as smoothly as possible for you. Let's go over some common mistakes that can cause delays or issues with your claim so you can avoid them. Filing with the wrong state or district. Make sure you are filing with the correct state or district. Missing employment details. Make sure you include all relevant information on your employment, particularly if you worked out of state. Forgetting your return to work date. If you have a return to work date, enter it on your initial claim. Spelling or data entry errors. Double check all information before submitting your claim. Incomplete identity verification. If required, complete your identity verification as soon as possible to prevent delays. Forgetting to fill out the Form ES-935. Keep an eye on your action items and upload a copy of your ES-935 to the correspondence section in Beacon. Avoiding these mistakes will help your claim process more smoothly. It is very likely that after you submit a claim, we will have questions for you that we need to answer before your claim can be processed. Please make sure to answer when we call. It is important to know that if you do not answer or respond within 48 hours, your unemployment benefits may be delayed or denied. When we call, it will likely look like one of the images shown here, with the call coming from either 667-207-6520 or State of Maryland. It may look slightly different depending on if you have an Android or an iPhone, but the number or state displayed will be the same. Now, we're about to dive into a few scenarios to give you a sense of the claims process in real life for people in different situations, of course. But before we get to the scenarios, let's recap some important points. Take time to gather all information and documents if you can. Make sure you file your claim at an appropriate time based on your unique situation. File in the state or district where your duty station is located. Ensure all documents that you will need to file for unemployment insurance are saved to a personal email address in case you cannot access a work email address. Do not apply for unemployment while you are still employed or on administrative leave. Even if you are expecting to be laid off, wait until after you are officially separated from your job before you file for unemployment benefits. Federal civilian employees affected by a RIF should wait to file a claim until after the final day of physical work or the end of any paid administrative leave. Filing too early can delay processing or result in the claim being denied or held, since eligibility for unemployment benefits only begins after the person is no longer employed. Just a reminder, if you have any questions of a general nature, please put them in this webinar's Q&A. And if you have any questions specific to your situation or your claim, fill out the Google form linked in the chat. Now, we have 5 scenarios to walk you through that may relate to your specific situation. Let's start with preparing for reductions in force, or RIFs. I bet some of you are thinking, I have a feeling I'll be RIFed or laid off sometime this month or sometime soon. What can I do to prepare? When do I apply for UI benefits? Here are some tips. Download your SF50, preferably the most recent one that lists your salary, as well as your W-2, leave and earning statements, and any documents you think you may need. Also, download and save anything you receive regarding your RIF. Download everything and send it to a personal email address so you have it just in case you lose access to your work email. Once separated from employment, include the separation SF50 in your prepared document collection. If you do not receive this, continue to apply for unemployment benefits and also reach out to your HR department for access. You do not need to wait. Do not apply until the day after the effective date of your RIF. See the date on your RIF notice. In general, compile everything you receive regarding your separation, payment history, and employment information. There is no such thing as too much information. Many reductions in force are paired with severance packages. We will go over some examples on the next slides of severance. Important. When filing your claim in Beacon, if you were affected by a RIF or layoff due to no fault of your own, please indicate your separation type as lack of work / layoff more than 10 weeks / reduction in force. And please remember, you are still paid until the effective date of your RIF, which means you are not unemployed until that date. It is important not to apply for unemployment earlier. If you're looking for guidance, call us at 667-207-6520. And you can also see the resource Steps to Prepare for a Reduction in Force available on our webpage and here in the chat. So, what about RIFs that come with severance pay? Maybe you've been RIFed and will be receiving 6 months of severance pay. Should you apply for UI benefits? Under Maryland's unemployment insurance laws and regulations, severance pay is treated as deductible income against unemployment benefits. This means that you cannot receive unemployment benefits in any week that your severance pay covers if your severance pay is equal to or greater than the unemployment benefit amount for that week. Instead, your unemployment payments will most likely be delayed until after your severance expires. If the severance amount for a given week is less than the unemployment amount for that week, you may receive a reduced unemployment payment for that week. Many claimants receive the maximum weekly benefit amount of $430. So, if your severance is $430 per week or more, you will not be able to collect unemployment benefits in the same week. Now we're going to go over 2 examples of severance that can be found on our webpage. Remember, everyone is different. If you have questions specific to you and your situation, you can fill out that Google form or call us. We're here to answer your questions. Example 1. You separated from federal employment effective June 2nd, 2025. However, you are ineligible for severance pay. The best date for you to file for unemployment benefits is June 3rd, 2025. And here's why. If you have no severance payments to offset benefits, there is no reason to wait. You'll get the most benefits by filing immediately. What about if you do get severance pay? In example 2, you had an annual salary of $80,000, separated from federal employment effective June 2nd, and began receiving bi-weekly severance payments equal to your salary. Your severance is calculated to last for 28 weeks, and your weekly severance amount is greater than your weekly unemployment benefit amount of $430. You will not be able to collect unemployment benefits at the same time you are collecting severance. The best time for you to file an unemployment benefits claim is most likely immediately after your severance pay has ended if you are still unemployed. And here's why. A benefit year is 52 weeks, and you can only receive 26 weeks of benefits during that time frame. If you file immediately after you are terminated, the clock on your benefit year will begin to tick while you are receiving $0 per week in unemployment insurance benefits and instead are getting severance payments. At the end of those 28 weeks, you will only have 24 weeks left in your benefit year. If you had waited until your severance was completed, you would have 26 paid weeks left in your 52-week benefit year. That being said, and very importantly, if your severance is 12 months or more, or if you have any questions in general, please call us for more information. Multiple terminations are also affecting many of you right now. What if you were terminated in February, brought back, and terminated again in April? What do? There are a few questions to think about. Did you file a UI claim the first time you were terminated? If so, and it was determined that you were eligible for UI benefits, you should reopen your claim. In Beacon, there should be a reopen claim button under the Your Options menu on the left side of your screen. Please select the button and follow the prompts. When you reopen the claim, you should report any new employment, including reinstatement with your original employer. If you filed a UI claim the first time and the claim was not eligible for UI benefits, or if you did not file a claim at all, then you should apply for benefits from the beginning as outlined in this presentation. Scenario number 4 relates to deferred resignation programs. What happens if you chose the deferred resignation program, also known as the fork in the road option? If you take this option, you may not be working during the time frame designated by the DRP. However, you will be receiving a salary and benefits until the deferred resignation date. Therefore, you are not considered unemployed. This means that you will not be unemployed until after the resignation date. For example, if you chose the deferred resignation program and your resignation date is September 30th, 2025, you are considered employed until that date in September. Apply for unemployment benefits after your administrative pay is exhausted. A decision will be made on a case-by-case basis. And finally, let's mention early retirement. What happens if you chose the early retirement option? This option comes with some nuance, and it's a bit complicated to summarize as every case is different. Each case will be reviewed individually. And if this applies to you, please call us so we can discuss your individual situation. Now we're going to take a moment to go over the new Federal Worker Emergency Loan Program. This program offers no interest loans of $700 to eligible former federal employees who reside in Maryland. You may receive both the loan and unemployment insurance. Federal contractors are not eligible for the loan. You may apply for the loan online at maryland-dol.submittable.com/submit. And for more details, see the Federal Worker Emergency Loan Program webpage, Loan Program FAQs, both of which will be in the chat, or call 410-541-1075 anywhere between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Again, all web pages and FAQs are linked in the chat here. If you have any general questions you would like us to answer, again, please submit them in the Q&A section of the webinar at this time if you have not already. We will work to answer as many general questions as we can. If you have a specific question related to your UI claim or your individual situation, please submit it in the Google form, and our team will aim to respond to you within 48 hours. While we gather some of the questions that we have been asked in our webinar chat, let's discuss how to stay informed if you need help. Here's where to find support. Visit mdunemployment.com for guides, FAQs, and resources. Access our unemployment system, Beacon, at beacon.labor.maryland.gov or through the apps available in the Google Play or iOS app stores. Call us at 667-207-6520 to speak with an unemployment insurance claims representative, available between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, or scan the QR code on this slide for the Google form for information related to your specific claim. And that is the same Google form that has been linked in this chat. So we just wanted to thank you for joining this overview of unemployment compensation for federal employees in Maryland. If you need assistance or have additional questions, visit mdunemployment.com for resources, guides, and contact information. You can also call us at 667-207-6520 for support. Thank you for watching, and we encourage you to stay informed and proactive in your unemployment journey.